What is willpower to you when it comes to your fitness journey? What is that thing that's going to keep you on the road ahead? Now, I'm going to read to you the Oxford Dictionary's version of willpower, and I'm pretty sure this is something that many people would agree about. Willpower: control exerted to do something or restrain impulses. Pretty straightforward and standard, right? Well, I want to open this up a little bit more for you on a deeper level. Here on this channel, I talk about the 4 pillars of fitness: your physical fitness, your mental fitness, your emotional fitness, and your spiritual fitness. And I want to tie willpower into something that's deeper than that surface definition I just gave you, because a lot of that is rooted in just your mental fitness. But there's a spiritual fitness aspect to this that once you start to unlock this, I think it's going to change the way that you approach your fitness and the things that challenge you in an even greater way. Now, I shared with you guys that my journey in faith is coming from more of a Christian viewpoint, but anyone can take gems from what I have to say today. And I've been reading a book called The Way, which was written by a Catholic priest by the name of Jose Maria Escriva. And it's a gem of a book because it gives you little anecdotes and sayings and things to meditate upon to just help you to live your life in a better way, to show up with integrity every single day, to show up with care for others, and to be of service to those around you in a way that can impact everyone who crosses your path. Now, I want to connect it to your fitness by reading what he has to say about willpower that really changed my entire perspective. Willpower, a very important quality. Don't despise little things, for by continual practice of denying yourself again and again in such things, which are never futile or trivial, with God's grace, you will add strength and resilience to your character. In that way, you will first become master of yourself and then a guide, a chief, a leader, to compel and to urge and to inspire others with your word, with your example, with your knowledge, and with your power. So in that respect, willpower just isn't about denying yourself for the sake of being in control of things, but to deny yourself in a way to teach discipline in order to, in many cases, let go of things that do not serve you, that do not help you to live the life that you want or to get to the next level in your fitness, in this case, as you want. And in learning how to master yourself against things that do not serve you, you become an example to others as well. Because how can you teach others or inspire others to greatness when you can't even inspire that within you, and to do so from a positive place? You know, I'm so sick of the fitness industry making us our own enemies, constantly judging our own bodies, constantly judging ourselves against facades that society has put in place, making us fear food and eating, the things that should be nourishing us to give us the energy to do the things that we love and to do what our calling here is on this planet, planting seeds of self-doubt within us that we carry on from childhood to adulthood and even inadvertently teach our children when they observe how much we don't love ourselves. You can bet that they see that. Think about what you've seen in your own parents, perhaps in your mother, when she was constantly on diets and then turning her ire on you to keep your weight under control, thinking that she was helping you to be healthy, to not be ridiculed by society. But those seeds of self-doubt and self-hatred were planted in you instead. So I want you to take this idea of willpower and flip it on its head. That willpower is the discipline that you give yourself, the permission that you give yourself to make the choice to live better, to say no to the things that don't serve you positively, to know that when you're trying to establish this body as a temple for the goodness within you and your body as a pillar of strength, physically, emotionally, mentally, and more, that it takes making decisions to do away with the things that do not serve you. That is true willpower from a positive standpoint. That is true willpower that helps you to change your habits over the long term. And I think by you shifting your mindset toward that, it gives you a greater foundation to learn to accept yourself in this process of weight loss. You know, here on this channel, I'm really passionate about addressing women, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, to rewrite their stories and to use fitness as that beacon that can change so much of your life. If what I'm saying to you right now is inspiring you, go ahead and post down below and share your thoughts, and definitely subscribe and like this video. And if you know that you need further help, because this stuff is not easy to do on your own, to truly change your habits in a way that's going to change your body, the way that you eat, the way that you train, the way that you approach your fitness, then go ahead and set up a complimentary call with me. Scan that QR code that you see on your screen or click the link down below. Let's talk completely for free. Let's see how this can change your life. But the question you might have is, okay, Roxy, this sounds great, but how do I start to do that? Number one, the first thing I always say to my clients is give yourself grace. Know that you're not going to be perfect along the way of this journey of changing your body. Know that you're going to stumble. Know that you're going to have a plan, and that plan is going to change time and again. Sometimes you need to chuck that plan out the window and redo it again with where you are in the moment. But give yourself grace to fall and to get back up and learn from those lessons. That is true willpower right there. Because in knowing how that mistake that you might have made, maybe you ate something that was not on plan and you feel terrible about it. And you're trying to will yourself to never do it again. But instead, what I want you to do is look, hey, I ate that thing. This is how I felt after. And I know that if I continue to go down that path, then I'm not going to see the results that I want. So instead of willing myself in a negative way to never do that again, okay, I learned a lesson and here's what I want. So let me set up the discipline I need to not let that happen again. If I'm craving something that's crunchy and salty, maybe I can look to how I can add that to my meal plan in a positive way. Maybe grabbing that bag of potato chips to munch on mindlessly can be put into a handful of salted almonds or cashews or whatever that I can factor into my meal plan. Number two, just changing your perspective in how you are approaching your diet, particularly, and your training. You need a lot of willpower when you have restricted everything off of your eating plan. You're not allowed to eat fats. You're not allowed to eat sugar. You're not allowed to eat salt. You're not allowed to eat fruits. Like, at what point are you allowed to eat anything? You're being so restrictive that you have completely obliterated any sense of having a meal plan that's sustainable even after you've reached your goals. And this is why so many people fall off the wagon. And this is why so many people, time and again, once they lose weight, they gain that weight back and then some, because it's too restrictive. They're having this battle of the will in order to not do something, instead of seeing how can we be more inclusive about how we eat, how we can be more flexible and realistic and use moderation in how we approach our meal planning. I always say you got to eat to be lean, eat to be strong, eat to have the body of your dreams. Food is your greatest ally, not your worst enemy. So how can you approach this in a way that allows you to will yourself to eat better, that allows you to will yourself to make smarter choices, healthier choices? We're using will in a completely different way. One which isn't restrictive, and then one that sees more abundance and stability and allowing. Knowing that, yes, you're going to have to eat in a caloric deficit to see fat loss, but it shouldn't be to the point where you're starving yourself and setting up an unrealistic environment where you will yourself never to eat anything. There's all these rules that is not sustainable. How do you will yourself to say, I have to eat this much in a day? And within that framework, I'm going to allow myself and will myself to enjoy the things that I do like, moderation at the same time. And finally, I want to leave this thing for you to ponder, because to will something also means to allow. What are you allowing in your fitness journey to be a positive impact on you? How are you allowing your fitness journey and what you're doing to help you to reach a new sense of self, to build your confidence, to give you appreciation for this one body that you have? How are you allowing this journey to help you have a new perspective and just release what society says that your value and worth is rooted in, and truly find where that is, which is in a place higher than any of us can ever imagine? How do you allow yourself to know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made at all times, that your body and what you look like does not take away from who you are, that your dignity as a human being can never be defined by what the world tells you? How do you allow yourself to embrace this in the process? That is a part of willpower as well. Spiritual fitness is something that I really am feeling called to go deeper with. And I have an entire channel where I'm exploring this. And if that's something that interests you, make sure that you go ahead and check out that channel right over here, Blessed Be Fitness. But what if I told you that there was a deeper connection with your body and your faith through what I call the theology of fitness. And if you're interested in that conversation, then make sure that you go ahead and check out this video right over here. I'll see you over there.